Liquid-cooled, air-cooled gaming beast. The RedMagic 11 Pro teardown is here. Let's see how much the advertised liquid cooling system has been upgraded compared to the previous 11 Pro, and how they managed to cram liquid cooling, air cooling, a VC, and liquid metal, all 4 cooling methods, into one phone. And what's the deal with this gaming phone using a dual-layer motherboard? The brand new RedMagic 11 Pro has finally hit the market today. I went ahead and dropped $6,499 on the 16GB RAM and 512GB storage model just so I could put it to the test. Even though the official retail price is about $500 to $1,000 higher than before, the local Shenzhen government subsidy effectively brings the total cost down to match last year's model. Now let's take a moment to compare the overall design language with the previous generation. You'll notice that the most significant difference is located right there on the lower section of the back panel. The 11 Pro has a granular texture, while the 11s Pro has switched to a brushed metal finish. The 2 horizontal bars on the 11 Pro's back panel have been removed, so the overall design looks cleaner. Plus the 11s Pro adds cooling system text in the center. Between these two, which one do you think looks better? To be fair, apart from the back panel, the dimensions and other design aspects of these two phones are very similar. Also, there is a pretty significant difference between them that you can actually spot just by looking at the back. On the nameplate, the 11 Pro features the Snapdragon 8 Elite, while the 11 Pro features the leading version of the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This processor isn't just a simple overclock, it undergoes a rigorous selection process starting right from the wafer level, and it has to pass all sorts of tests, like high frequency, high temperature, high voltage, and AVS stability testing, and so on. Only those specific processors that remain perfectly stable at a frequency of 4.74 GHz are granted the prestigious leading version designation. These are truly the absolute top tier components available. While my own standard model managed to hit a score of 4.1 million, the leading version variant easily reaches 4.3 million. That is quite an impressive performance gap. Are you currently shopping on a tighter budget? Rest assured, the 11 Pro Plus remains a very solid and reliable choice. John's price dropped to 4,500. Also buy吧，那好多市场上是买啥，所有上买啥，other上买啥就买啥项 over a grand cheaper than the 5,699 launch. You won't find a better new phone for that price. High-end phones are dirt cheap, and John's is reliable. Beyond the chip, the cooling system has been upgraded. Check the cooling settings. There's a fast and slow mode. In slow mode, it matches the previous generation's speed. Switching to fast mode, the airflow is noticeably faster than the previous generation. Comparing the true full-screen display on the front with the previous model, the chins of both phones are exactly the same width. I also checked the screen brightness and display quality, and there's no difference. They're likely using the same panel. The rated fan speed is the same as the previous generation, but it's actually quieter in operation. I've tested the performance myself. Or what do you think of the improvements? Alright, that's it for the exterior. For this mid-cycle refresh of the RedMagic 11 Pro, how much has the internal hardware actually been boosted? Is it worth the 500 yuan price difference? Let's get right into the teardown. We'll start by using a heating pad for 2.5 minutes, then we'll open up the back cover. You know, once you take off this fully transparent back cover, the phone actually looks even cooler. Look, the texture is so much clearer now. Type 1 if you agree it looks better without the back cover, and if you disagree, you're just blind. And once you peel off the film from the liquid cooling system, wow, it looks even better. Because look, when the film is on, it might just look like a small circle, but in reality, the liquid cooling covers a huge area, almost 2/3 of the bottom half of the phone. Let's activate this liquid cooling system and see how the mechanism looks when fully operational. Wow, you have to admit, this has an incredible high-end tech aesthetic, right? It's deeply satisfying to take it apart and see how these internal phone features function. Listen closely. You can hear the liquid cooling system softly humming. Let me move the mic closer so you can hear it. That sound is the piezoelectric ceramic micro pump in action. These two small pumps use a piston-like motion to circulate the water through the tubes. Let me give you a close-up of the piston. It's actually these two pumps that are causing all those air bubbles inside. Also, notice how the backplate is widened where the horizontal bars are. This increases the pipe diameter, allowing the bubbles to return to small, round shapes, which looks much better. The entire liquid cooling system is powered by the wires underneath, connected to the small board. And I should mention that to drive this liquid cooling system, it includes a boost converter on the small board, stepping up the supply voltage to 32 volts. So our previous plan to port it to an iPhone for liquid cooling failed, because this voltage is so high that many EV power adapters can't even drive it directly. It's quite a high level of technical sophistication. Okay, let's continue with the teardown and remove the air duct along with the liquid cooling system. Everyone, be careful when removing this motherboard cover. There are a lot of screws hidden under the sticker. If it weren't for our 2.5 years of experience taking apart RedMagic phones, we would have definitely snapped it by trying to pry it open with all those screws still in. Once removed and flipped over, you can see this yellowish component, which is the piezoelectric ceramic micropump I mentioned earlier. On the back is the wireless charging coil, along with a large graphene heat spreader. The wireless charging power reaches 80 watts. The only brand I can think of with wireless charging this fast is Huawei. After disconnecting the power ribbon cable for the wireless charging coil, you can see that the phone's air cooling and liquid cooling systems can be removed independently. This independent design makes future repairs and replacements much easier. At the top is RedMagic's signature cooling vent, which you're all likely very familiar with by now. As for the cooling vents on these two generations of RedMagic, they both have You'll find that the entire unit is completely waterproof. The SoC duct is coated in a high-performance thermal paste. Take a moment to notice this specific cooling detail. The intake is protected by a filter, while the outlet remains open. You can actually pass a pair of tweezers right through it. Now, this blocks dust at the intake while letting debris blow out the outlet. It keeps the duct from getting clogged up. That is really quite a clever solution, and that leading version badge looks pretty cool. Moving down further up, if we remove the flash module, we can see that it integrates an infrared remote and 4 flash LEDs. This is a top-tier configuration. Many flagship camera phones only use a single color temperature, single LED flash. The area from the motherboard to the lens mount, as well as the LED module, is made of CNC machined aluminum alloy. Compared to the plastic materials used in other phones, this provides much better heat dissipation. Or on the top left of the motherboard, there's a genuine piece of alien technology, a 3.5mm headphone jack. I mean, can you name any other phone brand that still includes one? Next let's remove the motherboard cover. Now when removing the motherboard, you need to be careful. Under the power cable, hidden beneath this small piece of black tape, is a motherboard screw. If you try to pry the motherboard out without removing it, you'll end up destroying the board. Okay, now that the motherboard is out, we'll skip the camera specs because they are identical to those of the previous generation 11 Pro Plus. You can refer to this image for the details. Next, let's flip to the side of the motherboard. Now some viewers might be asking, why does this RedMagic gaming phone have a double layered metal plate? Hold on, don't rush on. If we flip the motherboard over, you can see that this dual layer board is designed to carve out this metal acoustic chamber, which serves as the rear cavity for the top speaker. With this chamber in place, the overall sound has a stronger sense of depth, making it easier to pinpoint sounds while gaming. The bottom speaker uses the same 1015 specification as the 11 Pro Plus. And if you look closely at the thermal paste on the back of the SoC, you can actually spot a small solid square. Once you wipe it clean, you'll see that it's actually a liquid metal unique to this phone. It stays solid at low temperatures, but when it gets hot, the outer layer melts to absorb the heat. The cooling on the RedMagic is truly top tier, and they've even included cutouts on the motherboard right beneath the SoC and the main camera. Next from Mr. 说分买拿放三的手机说是 Next, remove the bottom speaker. This speaker uses an AAC 1115 specification, which is the same as the previous generation. Now let's remove the daughter board. When you're doing this yourself, be sure to pay attention. There is a ribbon cable for the side touch buttons that needs to be disconnected. Otherwise, it is very easy to break. As you can see, there are 3 microphone openings on the sides and top bottom of the phone. This ensures that your hands won't block the side microphone while gaming, making it convenient for you to greet your teammates. I say they can Under the board is a Hengdian DMX 0H15 B-Spec X-axis motor. These are everywhere now in phones like Redmi and RedMagic. That's it for the internals. Let's reassemble. Given the build and aesthetics, who could resist this gaming phone? It's the perfect secondary device. Magic to your daily setup is just awesome. And if any of you guys have done this, feel free to share in the comments.